Well, you guys saw the video. I've been a few places, sang the anthem a couple times, and it was a life-changing adventure, especially for a girl who grew up in a tight-knit Long Island family. My parents owned a bagel shop. My dad made the bagels, and people came all the way from Brooklyn to buy them, so you know they were legit. But my mom ran the store. She was essentially my boss, or as I always said, my own personal drill sergeant. She had a lesson for everything. I could still hear her saying, if somebody was slacking off on the job, hey, you got time to lean? You got time to clean. Or about character, she'd say, never compromise your values, because you'll ultimately lose. Or fear, never let them see you sweat. She might have got that from a deodorant commercial. Regardless, she practiced what she preached. Once, a huge guy came storming into the store, demanding to speak to the owner, and he went off, accusing us for unauthorized use of a dumpster. Now, I should say, it wasn't confirmed, but widely rumored, this guy was in the mafia. But that didn't faze my mom. After he finished his tirade, she calmly looked at him and said, "Ew, we're not using your dumpsters. So what do you want to do now? Break my kneecaps?" It's true. My mom was great with everybody, but there was one group in particular that she had an extra soft spot for, and that was our men and our women in uniform. I don't care. Okay, all right. I don't care how busy she was. If she knew there was a customer who had a parent or a grandparent, a parent or a grandparent of a child who was deployed, she would always ask how they were and actually listen to the response. If somebody came in the store in uniform, forget about it. She made them feel like $1 million. And she always said, talk is cheap. Don't just say you care, show you care. I gotta say, working in that bagel shop, though, was not fun. Every weekend, every holiday, every summer vacation, every snow day, I had to be up with my family at the crack of dawn working. And I had an issue with that. Because I was better than bagels. I'll have you all know that I was destined to be a world-famous singer. There's just one problem. I could not sing in public. I was the shyest kid you'd ever met. And my performing debut came later on in high school for a homecoming game, the national anthem. Well, I was shaking so bad, I was trembling. I clenched onto that microphone so tightly when I finished, I could not open my hand. It was stuck. But I was taught to run towards my fears, so I kept singing the anthem at every chance I had. I would sing through college, and that would lead to pro games, Nassau Coliseum, Madison Square Garden. I even took a job with a Major League Lacrosse team under one condition. They let me sing the anthem at every game possible. Now the anthem kind of became my thing. And then there was a pivotal performance. It actually happened here in the city for BGC, the spinoff of Cantor Fitzgerald, for a 9/11 memorial. And to say the audience was emotional is an understatement. And it was in that moment that I realized that leading people in the singing of our national anthem is an honor, and it's not about me. And when I continue to sing, I get to interact with people in our military and our veterans, and I get to hear their stories of their service, and many times see what they sacrificed. And I'd share these experiences with my mom, because she was always urging me, to see the big picture. She'd say, Janine, your talent's not just for fame and fortune, Yeah, I know. But I also wanted Grammys, my own line of perfume. And that obsession eventually led to the development of a phrase that I would say so many times, and it would lead to so many problems. Was that phrase? I'd say, don't worry about it. When I make it big, then I'll give back. I'll take care of everybody. It sounded good. But in reality, I was really indefinitely putting off the giving back part. It was actually make it big or bust. And eventually I had the opportunity to go out to Los Angeles and record another album. So, I was off. It was going to take 3 months. And this is how it was going to go. I was going to record the album, get a deal, go on tour. Bing, bang, boom, right? Well, 3 months turned into 5 years. I was that girl back in high school who was clenching onto that microphone so tightly out of fear that my hand was stuck. Well, now I was this grown woman, but clenching onto confusion, frustration, exhaustion, and my life was stuck. I was good at hiding this from most people, except, of course, my mom. You know, she never really wanted me out in LA in the first place, but there was a point in time when she became pretty emotional about me coming back home. It turns out she was sick. And when I got that call, I was on the next flight home. And I'd be home for what would be the last 8 months of her life. The last 3 words that she ever said to me were, "Never forget me." Now, she knew I could never forget her. But looking back and knowing my mom, she meant never forget the lessons that I taught you. Talk about a paradigm shift. Theodore Roosevelt said, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." And in the months after my mom's passing, I kind of started doing that. I was thinking, what could I do now with what I have from where I am? I was not thinking anymore about making it big. What did that even mean? Well, what I did begin thinking of was the anthem. Kind of went back to the beginning. And how it made me feel when I sang that song. And how I knew it always made my mom proud. And then it dawned on me. I sang the anthem in a few states. I wonder if anybody sang it in every state. So I gave it a Google, and I was able to confirm that that had never been done before. Well, that became my marathon. And my mission was simple: honor our nation's heroes. And the amazing thing was, throughout that entire 2-year journey, I could hear my mom's voice the whole way, coaching me, all those lessons from the bagel shop. There'd be sometimes 7 to 8 states a month. I'd get home, I'd want to relax, but I could hear my mom, "Hey, what are you doing? You got time to lean? You got time to clean." So I didn't slack off. Or, "Never let him see you sweat." It was right towards the end of the journey, but for the first, 47 states, people thought I was nuts, How the heck is she going to do this? And on the inside, I was trembling. But I just kept putting one foot in front of the other. And as a result, I got to see America. It's kind of like Forrest Gump running around the country. I got to sing for NASCAR, every major sports league. I got to go ziplining, skydiving with the Army's Golden Knights. I got to drive a Coast Guard cutter. Nobody threw up or fell overboard. I was very proud of myself. I got to take the controls of a T-34. That's one of those old Air Force trainers. And we flew over the Beartooth Mountains. And I collided, not with the mountains, with an NBA player. I do not remember his name, but I will never forget the amount of sweat that he left on my arm as he ran back on the court. I got to sing on stage with Elvis. He lives in Wallace, Idaho, if any fans are out there. And I sang at Arlington National Cemetery, Section 60, for Gold Star Family Ceremony. I sang aboard great battleships like the USS Missouri. And 200 years to the day, Francis Scott Key was inspired to write what would be the lyrics to our national anthem. I sang in his line of sight, which is at the foot of the flagpole on Fort McHenry, and floating from a boat at the location that he was when he saw, by the dawn's early light, that our flag was still there. And I got to meet Americans. I got a friend in every state, members of our military, as well as my friend Cliff, a 92-year-old World War II veteran who stormed Normandy on D-Day and never stopped serving. He told me at 92, he reads the obituaries every morning, and when he sees a fellow veteran who's passed on, he calls their families and offers to give their eulogy. Now, with all I've seen, I can truly say that America is beautiful, and Americans are beautiful. And why do I love this country? Because on this soil, we have the freedom to do what we can with all we have from where we are. And did I make it big? You know, not according to my definition as a teenager, but did I finally begin to give back? See, mountains will move when your paradigm shifts. Now, if you're a member of our military, past or present, please stand. Now, for the rest of us, if any of us are looking for inspiration, to believe in something bigger than ourselves, to serve others in our own unique way, then we need look no further than those who just stood. And one other thing I'd like to acknowledge is ABA. They'll be hosting a panel at the end of this session where you'll get to hear how your industry is supporting our military, our retired military, and their spouses. So to take a lesson from my mom, don't just say you care, show you care, and show up to that session. Thank you.